Okay, for questions number 1. Which of the following basic quantity is stated in the label? So for base quantity, we know we have mass, length, time, temperature, and electric current. So now we have, this is mass, and then temperature, time. So we have mass, temperature, and time. 1, 2, 3. Questions 2. The graph P against V. So this is inverse proportional for the pressure and volume. If direct proportional, the graph will be a straight line that passes through the origin. So from this graph, we know that P and V is inversely proportional. So inversely proportional, C. Next question. Ahmad take 1 hour to cycle through P, Q, and R. So it takes 1 hour from P to Q and then to R. What is the velocity of Ahmad cycling from P to R? We know that velocity will be equal to the displacement over time. For displacement is a vector quantity, so you have to consider the directions also. From P to R, the displacement will be here. So this is the shortest distance connected P to R. So it's a right angle triangle. We calculate the length of PR first. So PR is x squared 6 squared square root 10 km. Okay, velocity, displacement 10 km over time 1 hour. But the answer all in the unit of meter per second. So you have to change the unit. 10 km will be equals to 10,000 meter. 1 hour. 1 hour is 3,600 seconds. So this one we use calculator. So it's a decimal value 2.778 meter per second. So the answer will be C. So question 4. This is a motion graph. Show the displacement against time graph. Okay, we do have two types of motion graph. The first one is displacement against time. From this type of graph, we know that the gradient will be equal to the velocity. Another one is the velocity against time. Velocity against time, the gradient will be equal to the acceleration. And there's one more thing, the area under the graph will be represent the displacement. So now what graph do we have? Displacement against time. So you have to know that the gradient will be represent velocity. Okay, which of the following pair is correct about the motion? For OP, okay, over here is OP. This is a straight line with a constant gradient. Gradient represent velocity, so it's a constant velocity. For PQ is a horizontal straight line. The gradient over here is 0, so the velocity is 0. The particle remain at same position. So OP, uniform velocity, and then 0 velocity. So the answer is C. So be careful of the velocity increasing. No, over the OP, the displacement increase, not the velocity. The gradient remain unchanged. The velocity is remain constant. Okay, next question. So we have two types of spring with the same initial length. The material, steel, both also silver. Which statement is correct when 100 gram root is hung to each spring? Okay, now we observe these two springs. What is the difference? The diameter of the spring. This is the diameter. And we know that the factor that affect the spring constant, K, when the diameter of your spring is smaller, the spring constant will be higher. You get a stiffer spring. So over here, this is the smaller diameter. The value of K, spring constant. Okay, the other one, the spring X, the spring constant will be smaller. And then the force, okay, this is the mass, but the force is a constant. According to the Hooke's law, F equals to Kx. Okay, we'll go through the answer first. Which statement is correct? Extensions of spring X is biggest. Okay, for this one, this is a spring X. Okay, now the force is constant. The spring constant is different. Okay, the relation between the spring constant and the extension is inverse proportional. The relation is inverse proportional. So the spring constant smaller, the extensions greater. So the A should be correct. So later on, we go through the other answer also. The spring X constant is biggest. No, the spring constant of Y is bigger. Extension of the Y is biggest. No, the stiffer spring, the extension will be smaller. And donkey, the spring constant is same. No, they are different. So the correct answer is A. There's a rocket launched from the launch pad. Which of the following statement is correct about the hot gas emission through the rocket exhaust as the rocket accelerates upward? Correct. The hot gas emissions. Okay, we go through the answer. The reductions of fuel mass cause the upward acceleration. Okay. The total momentum in the system is 0. Okay, this one is okay also. The energy produced by the burning fuel causes the thrust force. No. The upward accelerations equals to the gravitational accelerations. No. Okay, go through these two questions, these two answers again. Okay, there is acceleration. The question asking for about the acceleration. So the total momentum of the system cannot be equal to 0 because there's acceleration. So the correct answer should be A. Okay, for 7, where is the change of momentum? Change of momentum is the impulse. Impulse will be equal to the final momentum minus the initial momentum. Okay, the mass of the ball 0.02 kg and bounce in 3 seconds. Okay, this is the initial velocity and this one is the final velocity. So we just substitute in 0.02. Okay, the direction is different. So usually we assume that to the right is positive. So this is a positive value. And then to the left is negative value. Later on this is negative 10 meter per second. So final velocity 5 minus initial velocity is negative 10 to the left. So we calculate. Is 0.3 kg meter per second. Okay, there is one more information is given in the questions. The time taken is 3 seconds. So if let's say the question is asking for the impulsive force, then we can use the mv minus mu over the time taken. Is 0.3 over 3 is 0.1. Is the kg meter per second square. But the question is not asking for the impulsive force. So but there's information is given also. Okay, this is 0.3. So next question. Stationary, ready to take off. The takeoff velocity must reach 100 and the acceleration of the airplane. What is the displacement before it take off? Okay, the initial velocity is 0, a stationary velocity, a stationary airplane. And the final velocity, you want to take off, the final velocity must be 100 meters per second. And the acceleration is 4 meters per second square. We're looking for the displacement s. So based on the information, we can use the linear motion equation. One of them is v squared equals to u squared plus 2as. So we just substitute in all the value. And the formula will be given. You can check the formula list. So the displacement. Okay, next question. Satellite orbiting the Earth to capture image of the surface of Earth. What caused the satellite to stay in its orbit? The gravitational force greater than the centripetal force? No. If let's say the gravitational force is greater, then the satellite will be pulled closer and closer to the Earth. So this cannot be happen. So same for B. This is reverse. If the gravitational force less than centripetal force, the satellite will move away from the Earth. Yeah, so the correct answer is C. The gravitational force must be equal to the centripetal force. So next one is a geostationary satellite. So what is meant by geostationary satellite? It looks like the satellite does not move at all. Why? Because the satellite always stay at the same geographical locations. Okay, A is cannot. The orbital period must be same as the Earth. The positions depends on the size and functions of the satellite. The positions depends on the radius of the orbit. Stationary positions along the equator, maybe. The orbital period is same as the period of rotations of Earth. Yeah. So donkey is the correct answer. C incorrect. The satellite only looks like stationary. It's not stationary. Why is it look like stationary? Because the satellite move the speed same as the speed of the Earth. Okay, there's a thermometer to measure the temperature of the patient. Which of the following statement is correct? The total heat transfer between the patients and the thermometer is the same. The net heat transfer is 0. Temperature of thermometer will decrease. Temperature of patients will increase. No. So this is the correct answer, B. So how the thermometer measure the temperature of the patient? They must achieve the thermal equilibrium. So for thermal equilibrium, the net heat transfer must be equal to 0. Another thing is they have the same temperature. So the temperature of the patient same as the temperature of the thermometer. Clothes are ironed using a steam iron are smoother. Which of the following statement is correct? Steam has higher temperature. No, same as the water, the boiling point 100. Higher latent heat of vaporization. Yes. Higher specific heat capacity. No. Water has the highest specific heat capacity. The steam dissipates heat faster. Okay, so correct answer is boil. Okay, when the steam has higher specific latent heat of vaporization, when the steam comes out, it's contact with the clothes. So the gas change to liquid. A lot of heat will be given out. Will release a lot of heat. So the heat can iron the clothes to become smoother. Which situation involves the Charles law? So this part is the gas law. So Charles' law say that the volume is direct proportional to the absolute temperature. So this is the Charles' law. So which application using the Charles' law? Okay, this one should be the correct. We go through all the answer. Yeah, the answer is A. So hot water. When temperature increase, the volume increase. So the ping pong ball will return to the original shape. This one is the Dan ping pong ball. The swing of the rocking chair will decrease and eventually stop. So that's the oscillation. Eventually will become stop because of the damping. The energy lost to the surrounding. Okay, damping. Okay, the diagram show two identical glass filled with different volume of water. A is not moving and B move slightly. Okay, we observe the volume of the water. So the glass is almost full over here. The mass is greater. And over here, mass smaller. So this should be related to inertia. So inertia depends on the mass. Greater mass, greater inertia. Which statement explains the situation? Mass increase, inertia increase. Two bungalows which are made from the same material. Which of the following statement is true? The height of house affects temperature. The temperature affected by the intensity of sunlight. So this cannot be because the same sunlight. The intensity must be same. The intensity affected by the wave is the width. Width should be same also. The width of the house affected the temperature. No. So this one, the answer, we take A. The height of the house affects the temperature. Actually, this question is not that good because the question is never asking for anything. It just told us they make from the same material. For same material, the specific heat capacity should be same. Okay, next question. The bubbles bowl produce a calmer water around the ship and reduce the water drag. Again, this one. So the bubbles bowl, the function is to generate a wave to occur destructive interference. So there's a water wave coming. This will generate an opposite directions wave so that when two waves meet, they will experience destructive interference. So which of the following is correct? So A is the answer. Which of the following is correct when light rays are reflected by the water in the water bottle? So this is about reflections. Okay, V equals to F lambda. For reflections, the velocity or the speed must change and the frequency limit remain unchanged and the wavelength will change also. When your speed increase, the wavelength increase. Speed decrease, wavelength decrease. So reflection, the speed will change, yes. Frequency change, no. The directions of the wave change, yes also. The wavelength change. So 1, 3, 4. What is the critical angle of the perspective? So we're looking for the critical angle. The refractive index will be equals to 1 over sine the critical angle. Okay, we don't know the refractive index. Okay, but we can find out the refractive index through the value over here. Our incident angle and refracted angle. No, the refracted angle is over here. 60 degree. Must be the refracted ray and normal line in between. This is the refracted angle and this is the incident angle over here. So our refractive index will be equals to sine I over sine R. But always remember that this angle must be in A or vacuum. So go back to our diagram. Over here is A. So we will take this angle as the incident angle. And this angle is the refracted angle. Okay, again, sir. So the refractive index, sine I, 60 degree over sine R is 35.2 degree. So this is the refractive index. Must be equals to 1 over sine C. This is the critical angle. And now we can calculate. So I press again the sine 35.2 over sine 60. And then shift sign, answer 41.7. Diagram show the arrangement of the apparatus for the experiment of image formations by a convex lens. Okay, now we have a convex lens. Which change of variable cause the increase of the image? So have a look on the diagram 16. There's a white screen. So a real image will be formed. So to form a real image, your object distance must be greater than focal length. Here we go through the answer. Okay, two factors, diameter and the focal length. Diameter of the lens will not affect the size of the image. The diameter of the lens will affect the brightness of your image. If let's say bigger the diameter, the lens will collect more light, so the image will be brighter. There is nothing related to the size of the image. So no. For focal length, when the focal length increase, the size of your image will be increased. So we have a look on the lens formula. Okay, this is the lens formula. So in this experiment, we will change the different type of convex lens. So we have to assume that the object distance remain unchanged. So this one will be constant. So now the relations between the focal length and image distance, when 1 over f increase, 1 over v will be increased. The relation is not exactly as the directly proportional, but something like that, increase linearly. When I brought a graph,
1 over f against 1 over v. So since this is the constant, this is our y-intercept, y-axis intercept, you will get a straight line, something like that. So for 1 over f increase, 1 over v will be increased also. When your focal length increase, your image distance will be increased also. Okay. For the image distance, we know that magnification will be equal to the height of the image and height of the object. And this can be equal to the image distance over object distance. When your object distance remain constant, the increase of velocity, not velocity, the increase of image distance will be increase the magnification. So this value constant be increased, magnification will be increased. For this question, later on, I will draw a ray diagram to show you why the focal length increase, the height of the size of the image will be increased. So this answer A.
Okay, this is the ray diagram for the questions. Okay, when the focal length increase, the size of the image will be increased. Okay, let's say we have two different type of convex lens. Now, the black color, this color is the lens with the focal length, shorter focal length, and blue color is the longer focal length. Okay, I label over here. This is the shorter focal length. Another one, this is the longer focal length. So when the object, so here is our object. This is the object distance. Okay, first time we use the black color, the shorter focal length. We draw the ray diagram. Parallel to the principal axis will be reflected pass through the focal point. So another one, the light then pass through the optical center will not reflected. So over here is the image. So this is the image form when we use the shorter focal length. And this is the size of the image, the height of the image. Okay, now again, the same object distance. But this time we use a longer focal length. Okay, this is a focal point. Parallel to the principal axis, pass through the focal point. Pass through the optical center will not reflected. So it's obvious that these two lines will be intersect over here, somewhere over here, not enough space. So the image will be formed over here. So this is the size of the image. Is that obvious? When the focal length increase. When the focal length increase, the size of the image will be increased also.
I will continue at the question first. Okay, 21. Aeroplane flying in the air. Which of the following statement produces zero acceleration? For zero acceleration, the aeroplane must be under a equilibrium force. So equilibrium force, no net force. The lift and the weight must be equal, so that the thrust and the drag must be equal also. Under equilibrium force, equal, don't give. 22. About the resolutions of force. So we will revolve the force into vertical and horizontal component. Which operation need to be added to increase the reading of the spring balance? Okay, now here we have the spring balance. The spring balance will be measuring the force or measuring the tension in this question. Okay, to increase the reading, the tension, the force have have to be increased. The angle, the mass, the length, the mass of the root. So this is our root. When the weight increase, the tension of the string will be increased also. All the tensions over here will be increased when the rooting increase. Which of the following obey Hooke's law? For Hooke's law, spring. This one. Climber at altitude P and Q. There's two positions, P and Q. Compare the atmospheric pressure at different altitude. We know that the atmospheric pressure is caused by the weight of A above the object. So now for the climber Q, this is the weight of the A above these positions. Meanwhile, for positions P, and this is the weight of A. So definitely the pressure will be higher over here because of the lower altitude, and the atmospheric pressure is smaller. So any answer? Atmospheric pressure at P is lower. Okay, 25, that's a Pascal principle. Calculate the force acting on the piston Y to lift a root of 100 Newton. Okay, Pascal's principle states that the pressure transmitted is equally throughout the liquid in an enclosed region. So the pressure over here will be equal to the pressure over here. So P1 equals P2, force over area. Okay, we just substitute in all the value, the force and the area, the force and the area. Okay, be careful of the unit of the area. So that's a centimeter square and meter square. You have to change to become same unit. So let's say 2 meters square. 2 meters square is 2 meter multiply 1 meter. 200 cm multiply 100 cm. So total is centimeter square. So it's 20,000 centimeter square. This Newton. So use the calculator. So the force is 1 Newton. So again, I check the calculation. 200, 100, 20,000. And the force is 1 Newton. No answer for this question. So I check again, maybe there's a typing error. Maybe the units are same. So let's say over here is 2, cannot be 2 centimeters square. It doesn't make sense. Over here is 2 centimeters square. Never mind, just check if over here is 2 centimeters square. And the answer is 10,000 Newton also. So we don't have the correct answer. Okay, never mind. So we remain our calculation. So this should be the answer. Force is 1 Newton. Okay, 26. The same shape with more root. 21b with more root. Based on your observation, which statement is correct? When the weight of ship increase, the buoyant force decrease. Cannot be happen because the weight of the ship will be equals to the buoyant force. Volume increase, the weight of the displaced water increase. No, incorrect also. The buoyant force will be equals to rho Vg. So if the volume increase, buoyant force will be increased, weight will be increased. Okay, there's the answer in C. The weight increase, the weight of the displaced water increase. Yeah, C is the correct answer. 27. Yellow line in a train station. The passengers are prohibited from standing on the yellow line, as it could cause an accident. Which of the following principles explain the prohibition? So this is Bernoulli principle. Okay, let's say there's a passenger over here. This is a passenger. When the train is coming, moving at high velocity, the air in between the passenger and the train will be moving at high velocity also. Velocity increase. I draw over here. Okay, this is a train and this is a passenger. So this train move at high velocity. So the air in between them move at high velocity also. Velocity increase, the pressure decrease, according to the Bernoulli principle. Meanwhile, the air behind the passenger is not moving. The velocity decrease, the pressure increase. There's a difference of pressure. So there will be a force push from the high pressure to the low pressure. Okay, there's a force. Not buoyant force, there's a force. So this force will push the passenger towards the train. So it can be dangerous. So this is about the Bernoulli principle. Okay, next one, the graph obtained from experiment. Which of the following is the method for determining the value of residence? According to the Ohm's law, V equals to IR. So V over I equals to the resistance. Okay, the gradient in this graph is V against I. So the gradient will be represent the resistance. So gradient represent the resistance. Electrical flyer with a heating element. What modification can be made so that more heat is produced? Finer nichrome wire, shorter nichrome wire. So this is about the resistance. So the factor affect the resistance, the length increase, resistance increase. And the thickness of the wire, the diameter lah. Smaller the diameter of the wire, higher the resistance. What else? Material. But the material are also nichrome over here. Okay, A, use a finer nichrome wire. Yes, the diameter decrease, resistance increase. This can be. B, shorter. Shorter cannot be because longer the resistance will be increased. Thicker, diameter increase, resistance will decrease. No. Laminated nichrome? No also. Answer is A. Show the two different arrangements of two dry cells. Okay, the dry cell in A is connected in series. Over here, connected in parallel. Which of the following is correct for the electromotive force and the internal resistance? And zoom in. So assume the dry cell is identical, the electromotive force, internal resistance, electromotive force, internal resistance. So when two dry cells connect in series, the electromotive force will become double up. Meanwhile, the internal resistance will be double up also because they're connected in series. So second one connected in parallel. The total electromotive force still E, but the internal resistance is R over 2. Okay, why the electromotive force remain unchanged? There's a two same point parallel. So the voltage, the potential difference across the 2 points are remain unchanged. But the resistance connected in parallel. So we can calculate 1 over R, the effective resistance will be equals to, so 1 over R is 2 over R. Effective resistance is R over 2. So from A to B, electromotive force increase, internal resistance decrease. Increase, decrease, increase, decrease. Iron has the power rating of, which of the following statement is correct? Okay, for the power rating, when the iron stem connected in 240 voltage, 1500 volt. So this is the power. What is meant by power? There will be 1005 joule used in 1 second. So when the stem iron is connected to 240 voltage. Okay, B, C, donkey. So the most accurate one is the donkey. Which of the following statement produce the catapult field? Catapult field must be interactions between two different magnetic fields. So we go through the answer. Interactions between the current carrying conductor and the permanent magnet can be Interactions between the magnetic field from two permanent magnets can be also two current carrying conductors. So actually the answer of B, C, D is more accurate. Both also can be, because there's interactions between the magnetic field. But what we learned in our textbook is normally the catapult field is the interactions between the current carrying conductor produce a magnetic field, and another one is the permanent magnet. There's a magnetic field around the permanent magnet. So this one I would suggest we'll choose the answer of donkey. But actually the B and the C should be correct also. When you have two current carrying conductor, both also generate magnetic field. So there will be a catapult field also. Maybe it's a bonus question for this question. Okay, the diagram shows a bar magnet drop into a coin. Which of the following steps will produce a larger deflection of the galvanometer indicator? So there will be an induced current generated in the coin. The galvanometer will be detect the induced current. Larger deflections mean that the induced current is bigger. The induced current or the induced electromotive force will depend on the rate of change of magnetic flux. So this is the magnetic flux, and this is the time taken. You want to increase the induced current, either the change of magnetic flux must be bigger or the time taken must be shorter. Either one. Okay, we'll go through the answer. Increase the distance between the bar magnet and coin. Okay, this can be. Replace the bar magnet with soft iron core. No, you must use a magnet. Reduce the number of turns of the coin. No. In fact, you must increase the number of turns if you want to increase the induced current. Reduce the diameter of the coin. No. Okay, the answer is A. Increase the distance between the bar magnet and the coin. Okay, when we drop the bar magnet from a higher position, so the bar magnet will drop. The gravitational acceleration will cause the bar magnet accelerate. So the velocity, when the velocity pass through the coin over here, the velocity will increase compared to when you drop the bar magnet at lower position. Okay, I have two. Okay. One position A, another position B. The velocity that pass through the coin, the velocity A will be higher because the bar magnet is dropped from a higher position. Higher velocity, that means the time taken will be shorter. So shorter the time, bigger the induced current. Which of the following statement is correct method to reduce the energy loss in the transformer? Reduce the energy loss. The resistance of coil use a thin copper wire? No. You must decrease the resistance of the wire. Use a thicker one. Eddy current use a non-laminated iron core. So no. In fact, you should use a laminated. Hysteresis use a hard iron core? No also. You must use a soft iron core. easily magnetized and demagnetized. The leakage of the magnetic flux wrap the secondary coil on top of the primary coil. Yes. So to reduce the leakage of magnetic flux, we can wrap the secondary and the primary coil as close as possible. Okay, question 35. Diode when connected to a circuit. So there's one diode and there's another capacitor. So only one diode, there will be a half wave rectification. The current input is a alternating current. So it's a alternating current. The diode only allow the current flow in one direction only. So it's a half wave. And there's a capacitor. Capacitor will smoothen the current. A half wave and smoothen. Answer should be A. And this should be a solid line, something like this. Okay, there's a transistor act as a current amplifier. So transistor can be act as an automatic switch or amplifier. Why does the bulb P light up dimmer than bulb Q when the switch S is turned on? P dimmer than Q. P over here, dimmer. This will be brighter. The bulb P is connected in the base circuit and Q is in the collector circuit. So we know that a small change in the base circuit will cause a large change in collector circuit. Collector current is low? No. Base current is low? Yes. Emitter current is high? Depends. Higher than the base. The base current will be equal to emitter and collector? No. So the correct answer should be B. 37. The decay of nucleus uranium that release a radioactive ray. Which of the following pair represent X and Y? Radioactive ray. So X and Y and is the radioactive ray. So it can be alpha, beta, or gamma. Yeah, the answer alpha, beta, and gamma. So have a look on the equation. The equation must be balanced. The neutron number 238,234. So over here we must have another 4. And 9292 over here is 0. Over here must be 0. Over here is 4. Over here is 0. How to become 0? 2 and negative 1. 2 and negative 1. And here's 4, 0. So X is alpha and then Y is the beta. Answer is A. So again, we write out 23892 uranium becomes 23492 uranium plus a alpha. Alpha actually is the helium nucleus for 2. And then 2 beta. Beta actually is the electron. So it's 0, -1. So the proton number balance 92 will be equal 92 plus 2 minus 2. 2 times -1, -2. For neutron number balance also 238 will be equal 234 plus 4. Just balance it like your chemical equation. Okay, 38. Which of the following represent the equation? And there's a uranium neutron and then split into 2 smaller nuclei. This is a nuclear fission. One heavy nucleus split into 2 lighter nucleus. Photoelectron produced from the photoelectric effect. Which of the following describe the photoelectron? The movement of electron from surface of the matter. Okay. The emission of electron from a heated matter surface. No. This is thermionic emission. The movement of electron from the reflections of light. No. The emission of electron from a matter surface when the matter surface is illuminated by a beam of light at certain frequency. Yeah, the accurate definition is donkey. So the frequency of the light must be greater than the threshold frequency of the matter. Must reach a certain frequency. Okay, the last question. The equation of the Einstein photoelectric theory. Okay, this is the energy from the light. And this is the work function. And this is the maximum kinetic energy of your photoelectron. Which of the statements describe the equation? No, W is the work function. No, this is the frequency of the light. Yes, kinetic energy of the electron. No. If the threshold frequency is the minimum energy, but this one is not. The frequency over here is the frequency of the light. So the correct answer is C. So that's all for this paper 2022 SPM actual paper.